as most of you probably know, I am huge into testing and understanding how AIs actually work. It's something that I've invested a lot of time into. It's something I've shown you guys, and I deliver free results every single year. We're going to be doing the AI games this winter. I usually do it over Christmas break at some point during that break, and so we'll be getting into that a little bit more later this year. But as I go through the year, I'm always watching what other people are doing. And there was actually a really cool test of AIs that actually followed a lot of the methodologies that I do. And now I think these people actually did a better job than I do. I know it's somebody doing better research than me. It's a little surprising, but yeah. And this is from the Salesforce AI research team, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's actually really cool, and I'm hoping to see more of these type of tests. So the CRM Arena Pro, a holistic assessment of LLM agents across diverse business scenarios and interactions. Now, this is, to be careful, there was already a CRM Arena before this. This is the Dash Pro. This is like the new bit here, and we'll get into a little bit of that. But let's just read the abstract really quickly and understand basically some of the very high level results of this. While AI agents have transformative potential in business, and just to be clear at the very beginning of this, Salesforce has been very on board with the adoption of AI agents. If you're talking about agent force, that's their big thing that they're pushing. So I would consider them to be a little bit biased towards AI agents, which I think actually gives this a little bit more validity. While AI agents have transformative potential in business, the absence of publicly available business data on widely used platforms hinders effective performance benchmarking. This has been my big gripe for a very long time. It's why I do the AI games in the first place, because they're so bad. Existing benchmarks fall short in realism, data fidelity, agent user interaction, and coverage across business scenarios and industries. To address these gaps, we introduced CRM Arena Pro, a novel benchmark for holistic and realistic assessments of LLM agents in diverse professional settings. CRM Arena Pro expands on CRM Arena with 19 expert validated tasks across customer sales, service, as well as configure, price, and quote for business to business and business to consumer scenarios. It also incorporates multi-turn interactions guided by diverse persons and confidentiality awareness assessments. Experiments. So basically, as I said a lot of times with the AI games, a lot of the reasons I do that is I find that the benchmarks as they stand don't really give you a clear picture. I think there's a bug in here. Anyways, they don't give you a clear picture of how good AI is actually done. And we've talked about some of the reasons of that. And a lot of that is because they overtrain and they train on data that's actually in the tests, which is something we've talked an extensive about. But there's a lot of reasons that they do better at these synthetic tests than they do in real world. You'll see a 2x improvement in the tests, but not a 2x improvement in how they actually perform. And this is why I started the AI games in the first place and have done all of that work. Anyways, experiments show leading LLM agents achieve approximately solely 58% single turn success rate on CRM Arena Pro. When they say single turn, it basically means when one agent does one thing and that's it. It only needs one turn, a single turn. This is actually something that we have done a little bit, but actually in this winter AI games that's coming up, we're actually going to be testing the multi-turn a lot more. We've tested a lot of single turn stuff, and we're going to be working on the multi-turn more. I have a couple really sweet ideas for that. With significant performance drops in multi-turn settings to 35%. Among the business's skills evaluated, workflow execution is notably more tractable, with top performing agents surpassing 38% success rates in single turn tasks, while other skills present greater challenges. Additionally, agents exhibit near zero inherent confidentiality awareness, improvable with prompting, but often to the cost of task performance. So, what they're saying here is that inherently humans have some, especially, as you learn, as you grow up, things you shouldn't repeat. Your parents kind of teach you that. You're like, you should know that, but you shouldn't tell them that. Yes, their hair looks terrible, but don't tell them that to their face. You learn. And these don't have that ability, or the AIs that they tested. They did find out that and we'll look. I'm not going to read the whole research. I actually read through all of the research before doing this. They found you could prompt. You could prompt and like do some really good prompting to increase the ability for its confidentiality awareness. But as you increased it, it was almost directly decreasing how successfully it achieved the task that you were asking it to, which was pretty interesting to see. Like, as you increase that, it went up. Anyways. Additionally, agents exhibit near zero. These results underscore a significant gap between current LLM capabilities and real-world enterprise demands, highlighting needs for improved multi-turn reasoning, confidentiality adherence, and versatile skill acquisition. This is what it does. This is the CRM Arena Pro. And this is what it was trying to do. It was trying to do, this isn't even strictly looking at coding. A lot of times we're talking about coding and challenging AIs with leveraging different workflows to perform coding tasks. And something in the new AI games that are coming out later this year, we're actually going to be testing them on things other than just coding. So it's going to be a little bit more comprehensive in that regard. But this was, and it makes sense. Salesforce is obsessed with sales, right? So they were looking at a lot of stuff that their agents would have to do. So this wasn't even coding, something I would consider harder. This was doing things like this: business scenarios from business to customer and business to business, service, sales, CPQ, single turn, multi-turn, and confidentiality awareness. So these were the things that it was trying to test on. So these are the things that they were adding to the CRM arena, and the things that they wanted to understand better. We've all known the confidentiality awareness is actually a problem. This is why you don't feed it confidential information, because it's just bad at keeping your data. They're notoriously bad about this. So anyways, I'm going to drop a link to this. I actually think this type of testing is the future of AIs. I think that, if you ask me, I would love to make a framework or more frameworks through the AI games that did this level of testing. Some of this is type of manual testing that you have to do. But anyways, so I would love to see more of this type of testing, because I think this is going to give us more valid results. When you say that, hey, it did better in these things here, that it actually will do better in real life. Because again, like I said, we've seen so many times when it hasn't. The CRM arena actually looks like it does a pretty good job. One of the things I wanted to point out, you can look here, realistic environment, blah, 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 blah. The Pro, this one does so much. That is the advertisement. What I did want to point out is here, down here was a pretty graph, basically looking at, so they have different skills here: workflow, policy, text, database, all. And they were doing B2B versus B2C. And then they did it in multi-turn setting, and basically where there was multiple actions that needed to be done. Because everybody is like, they look at things like ChatGPT and they're like, okay, it can do this one thing. And the multi-turn setting is really, how can we chain these things together, and how well do they do with that chaining? And one of the things I found really interesting was that some of these drop off drastically. Like Gemini Pro here did really well on the workflow, and it did quite a bit worse just by one. We're talking about, like, on policy, it did almost half as well. Text, just quite a bit worse. when you add one more step in. So this was all I wanted to show you. I found it interesting because it's something we hadn't really been testing previously. And I'm not going to bore you with all of the details of all of the stuff that they did. Again, we'll be doing some of this in the AI games, but I wanted to show it to you guys. I think it's really awesome. Somebody else out there has seen this and said, hey, all the testing out there sucks and doesn't really give us a realistic view